Hi there, good evening. My name's Jess from the Gymbia in Hackney Wick, and this is my the first video from my core conditioning series of this week. So, for anyone who missed the video yesterday, I'm doing five live videos this week, covering all different aspects of the core. So today we're going to go through some foundational exercises and the correct training order for the different core musculature. Tomorrow I'm going to work through desktop, some things that can happen if you sit in a desk position for a lot of the day, which cause anterior pelvic tilt, which can cause back pain. Wednesday I'm going to go through breathing mechanisms and the importance of the transverse abdominis. Thursday I'm going to go through what causes the stomach poops. So you can have not a lot of body fat on you, but still have a belly that hangs over. Which may not actually be anything to do with holding excess weight and could have everything to do with a weak abdominal wall. So I'm going to talk about that and how to recondition it, if that sounds like you. And then on Friday, I'm going to talk about different postural deviations that can go along with having a weak core, and why endless crunching isn't necessarily the best thing for your core. Okay, so going to get into it. So going to give some foundational exercises today in the order of which you should ideally train the core. So you want to start with lower abdominals, which is the bottom down here. Then you want to go for the obliques, which is the musculature on both sides of your body, which is responsible for rotation, and also bending on this side, either side. And then I'm going to finish on upper abdominals. Now, the reason that we train in this order is because more often than not, the upper abdominal musculature for people is generally a lot stronger than the rest of it, partly to do with people doing lots of crunches in the gym and not necessarily training a lot of the other muscles. We should always start with lower abdominals because these like to fall asleep. Especially if we spend a lot of time sitting down where they don't really need to work. So our body's geared up for survival, and it will do anything necessary to survive. So if it sees that a muscle isn't working or needing to work because of the situation that it's in, your body will perceive that this muscle is wasting energy. So in an effort to conserve energy, your body will actually turn off certain muscles. So in this respect, we're talking about the lower abdominals. This can sometimes happen. Also, when we get into the transverse abdominis, this commonly happens. So the first part of the lower abdominal training, I'm going to basically teach how to wake your lower abdominal muscles back up. So this may be a strange concept, and I'll try and easily explain it like this. So we've got the nervous system, which tells the muscles what to do, how to do it, and where to go. So you may have heard the term muscle memory. There is no actual muscle memory, but there is a nervous system memory, because that's all memories are stored in the brain, and that's what your nervous system links to and tells the muscles what to do. So in an underactive muscle that might have turned off, I like to imagine it and explain it in terms of a tree. So in a normal muscle with good activation, you're going to have a nice, lovely tree in that muscle, and yeah, everything is good. It works as it should do, no problems. Now, in an underactive or turned off muscle, you can imagine you've got a stump. So you need to grow this tree to turn the muscle back on. So every time you then stimulate this muscle, it grows your tree a little bit more. Stimulate it even more, you're going to get branches springing out of your tree. Train it even more, then you're eventually going to grow these branches into a nice full tree. Now, at the other end of the scale, if certain muscles become over-facilitated and they're doing way too much, which can happen, you may have an overgrown tree, in which case you would start stretching it to start trimming it down. So so I'm going to start with lower abdominal activation, because quite a lot of people, and now especially if you work at desks or in a sedentary position for a lot of the time, this might be you. So easy to test for. So it's all going to be variations around the leg raise. So I want to come back here now. You want to touch your lower abdominals. So here
just right around where your pelvis is going to sit. You want to touch that. Now, when we touch a muscle, it's like giving a signal to the brain that it's there. So, especially for underactive muscles, this is great to start to reactivate them. So, the first exercise that we want to do, now this is only if the lower abdominals are very, very weak and non-activated at all, you want to be doing this. If yours are fine, then you want to progress to one of the exercises I'll show in a couple of minutes. So, touching the lower abdominals, imagine you're squeezing them as well. You really want to get in there and squeeze. One leg up, one leg down. One leg up, one leg down. So this is improving the coordination to the lower abdominals. Like I said, if they're turned off, which can happen, is very common, this may be the entry-level exercise to go in with. Now, many of you may find that very easy to do. If so, you want to progress to the next exercise. If that's really challenging, then stay on that one as you're strengthening it. Now, remember, we're growing a tree, okay? So once you've grown your tree, past the stump phase, then you can go up and exercise, and each time it's going to get less challenging. So the next one, lower abdominal 2, is similar. Again, touching, which is bringing both legs up and down together, and feeling the lower abdominals work. Okay. So now, again, for many of you that may not be too challenging. For some of you it may be challenging. If so, continue with that until it becomes less challenging. So the next progression of that is you want legs fully extended, because that's going to increase the weight and the resistance. And you want to slowly be drawing up and down. Now, one really important thing to take note of here is you want to get into the habit of putting your hand under your lower back. Now, if you feel your lower back pull off and an arch in your spine, you want to stop training there, because that means that the lower abdominals have become fatigued and they're no longer doing what they should be doing. Okay, so you want to aim to get to 3 sets. So a set is doing, say, 10 exercises 3 times. Still touching the lower abdominals. You want to get 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. Once you get there, you can then progress the exercise again. So to progress the exercise, up here, okay, and a little hike up. So straight legs, and then raise the body up. Okay, now you really start to feel the burn in the lower abdominals from doing this. Okay, little bob up. So don't attempt the last one until you get good and strong at the previous exercises. Now also, we'll get to a good place with the prior exercises, and then you can try this next one. But don't try it if you're not at that point of strength. So this is a Swiss ball, fantastic tool to train the core and just about any other part of the body. It's great because it lowers your stabilization, or increases the need for stabilization from lowering the stabilization of the surface that you're on. So this next one is called the jackknife. So legs on the Swiss ball. Now, again, don't attempt this until you get your core to A level of strength, because it can be quite tough and unstable. So again, squeezing the lower abdominals, drawing in, and out. In, out, in, out, in, out. If you're feeling particularly strong, you can put a press up in there. So you can't see this, but, and then press up. Press up. Okay, so there's a myriad of other exercises could show you in every area, but we'd be here all night. So these are just your foundations. So that's lower abdominals. I didn't mention, but the lower abdominals are responsible for controlling your legs and also stabilising your pelvis, among other actions. But that's mainly what they do. They support your legs. So next, I'm going to talk about the oblique musculature. Now your obliques are these big muscles that go all around the side here. You've got 2 of them.
or 2 layers, internal obliques and then external obliques on top. Now, responsible for rotation to either side and also contraction there to put a side bend in there. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few oblique exercises. So again, using the Swiss ball for these first ones. It's called the Russian twist. So roll into one side and roll into the other side. Now, responsible for rotations, so we need to train them in a rotating fashion, like so. Okay. Now, when you feel comfortable, you can start dialing up the speed, like so. Now, that's to do the sort of lower body. There is another version of this where you train more the upper body. So, come like this, and then rolling from side to side. Okay. Now, with this, you really want to squeeze your bum muscles just to keep your hips up. You want to be like a tabletop. Okay. So. Another great one I have for the obliques is the wood chop. So it's just stood up. So coming from here to here. So the muscles are getting trained on the way up and the way down. And now what you do to one side, you must do to the other. So. Keeping that straight back. So, start off with that just to get the movement. Now, you may find that that becomes pretty easy, so you want to get some resistance. So, you can hold a weight and then do it with a weight in your hand. And so on. So, breathing in as you come up, out coming down. We always want to breathe out when we're kind of coming into the fetal position. So, that's fetal. Extension, we breathe in. Okay, and then got one more oblique exercise. It's a fun one called the washing machine. So, we'll grab a ball or object, nice wide stance, flat back. We don't want to be coming down like that, nice and straight like this. We're going side to side. Okay, so again, that's going to be a really good one for anyone who's training boxing, because that's going to emulate the hook. So, yeah, obliques are incredibly important if you want to throw anything, if you want to box, throw a punch, throw a kick. So any twisted motion, the obliques want to be trained. Okay, so those are the obliques. Next one is going to be the upper abdominals. So, hey Laura, yo! So upper abdominals, imagine the top 2 packs of your 6-pack around here. Lower abdominals are down here, so while lower abdominals take care of the bottom half of the body, the upper abdominals will take care of the top. Now, they have lots of functions, strength and stabilisation. Primarily, they're going to flex you forward like this. Okay, now, I'm going to show you two variations on the crunch. The second one is miles better if you can have the strength to do it. So I'm going to elaborate more on the crunch on Friday of why it's not always the best choice. It's only a good choice in a balanced program that takes care of the other abdominal muscles, because then you won't get into any trouble with imbalances. So, like I said, the first one I'm going to show you is if you're lacking the strength to do the second one. Okay, so first one is probably your normal crunch that everyone's used to. So, tongue in the roof of the mouth, and just coming up about 30 degrees, just to there. Okay, now
The reason I'm not a great fan of this one is because when in nature would you ever kind of just need to do that? Just that, like very, very rarely. And you're also not taking advantage of the full range of motion of the abdominal musculature. So a much better crunch is again to get our buddy the Swiss ball. And then come over the back of it, like so. And then it's the same movement, okay? So, crunching up, tongue on the roof of the mouth, and coming down. Now, can you see how much more of a range of motion I get? So, I'm getting like a full 50 degrees. So from here, all the way up to here. Okay, I'll do that one more time. So, yeah, letting your head touch the back of the ball as well. From here, all the way up to here. Now I can feel all of my core fire up massively there. Whereas normal crunch, you're coming from here to here. Okay? So much better exercise to do over the Swiss ball, because when you get more range of motion, it's going to be a lot more of a functional movement, but also you're going to train the core a hell of a lot more than just doing that. However, doing that is okay if you lack the strength to do the full movement, and only okay if you're balancing your core training, so you're getting the lower abdominals, you're getting the obliques. Now one final one to end on is sit up, so palms to the ceiling, now squeezing the abdominals, coming up, and coming down. No jerking, none of this. None of this to get up, because if you jerk, you are by default a jerk. So we don't want to. Yeah, Laura. So tongue on the roof of the mouth. Now that I was going to go more into that in on Friday, but the reason that we put the tongue on the roof of the mouth is because it closes a kinetic chain. And your tongue is the end of that kinetic chain that's linked to all of your neck musculature. If you don't have the tongue on the roof of the mouth, the sternocleidomastoid, which is the neck flexors which run from here to here, they get overloaded, which can cause neck pain. But I've got a really good, I've got to go into that on Friday, and I've got a really good good test that you can do with Barry, which will make you go, whoa, okay. So that's all for this evening. I hope you guys have got a lot from that. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a myriad of core exercises that you can do. I've just given you the basics here, but that's more than enough to go on with. And also, you can progress or regress, so make easier or make harder pretty much any of those exercises by either adding weight or decreasing weight, or just going a little bit less intense. So go for 3 sets of 10 with all exercises, and once you get to 3 sets of 10, you can progress to the next exercise. Final point, always train lower abdominals first, then obliques, then upper abdominals. You can actually do them on separate days as well, so you would train lower abdominals day 1, obliques day 2, upper abdominals day 3, or train them all in the same day but in that order. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to talk about anterior pelvic tilt, which is forward pelvic tilt, which can be caused by a sedentary lifestyle, sitting at a desk, and it can lead to back pain. So yeah, hopefully you can help some people out there. So thanks for watching, guys. Good night, and yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye.